Hello, this video is going to be about slope of a line. Today we're going to start looking at the beginning of graphing lines. All right, slope of a line. Slope is a measure of steepness. Is a measure of steepness of a line. Right? It's how steep the line is. Steeper the line, bigger the slope. So I'm going to draw really not a very pretty graph here. If I look at a graph, I'll change the color. If my graph is relatively steep, the slope is bigger. If my line is flatter, the slope is smaller. All right? So this is more steep, steeper, bigger slope. All right? Flatter, I think it has two T's. Flatter, it's a smaller slope. Okay? So what is slope? Slope, which we use the variable m for, is equal to the change in the y-coordinates, change in y, over the change in x. Change in x. So, just a little bit more on that. The notation, you are not responsible for this in this class, is delta y over delta x. That means the change in y. The little triangle stands for delta, which is the change. All right? In here, what I want you to think of it is the rise over the run. Rise over the run. What you're going to do is pick 2 points on your graph, pick 2 points, and from one point to the other, it doesn't matter which one, from one point to the other, calculate rise and run. Calculate the rise and the run. All right, we're going to look at 3 or 4 really quick examples. And when I say quick, they should be quick. All right, first thing I'm going to do is draw my graph. Okay, I've drawn my graph. Now I'm going to look at this graph and I'm going to find 2 points on the graph where the graph crosses my grid at an intersection. So right here, my graph crosses this line and this line. And that's what I want. And then I come down here and I see that it crosses the axis and it crosses that line. It's at what I call an intersection. I could have also used this point right here. I'm not going to, but I could have. All right. Now, my slope is the rise over the run. And what I like to do is from one point, I draw a line up and then I draw a line over. All right? Now, going from this point, I go up 3 units, and then from here to here, I go over 2 units. So from this point, I go up and I go over. My slope is 3 over 2. At this point, I need to point out also that up is positive. If you go down, it's negative. If you go right, it's positive. If you go left, it's negative. All right, that's all there is to it. Let's draw another one now. Okay, here's my next line. Again, I am looking for points where my line crosses at an intersection. Crosses this line and this line right here, and I look down here, I have another point. I pick 2 points and I go from one to the other. So I go down and I go to the right. Slope equals rise over the run, and I go from one point to the other point, starting with my rise. So I'm going from this point, I go down 4, down is negative, and I go right 1. My slope is negative 4 over a positive 1, or negative 4. You can write the answer as a fraction or as an integer. Again, we go from one point to the other, doing the rise on top, the run on the bottom. All right, we're going to look at 3 more quick examples. Okay, I've drawn a horizontal and a vertical line. All right, let's start with the horizontal line. Horizontal. And I'm going to pick 2 points. We'll go with blue here. And I do the rise over the run. All right, let me rewrite the word horizontal. All right, we have our 2 points here. So our slope is the rise over the run, or m equals, how far do I go up from this point to this point? How far do I rise? I don't rise anything. My run is 1, but my slope is 0. All horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Okay? Horizontal lines m equals 0. Always. 100% of the time, without exception. Now, let's look at the vertical line. And again, we're going to pick 2 points. The slope is the rise from here to here. From here to here, I go down negative 1. And I go over 0. I don't change my x at all. We are not allowed to divide by 0. Take your calculator and see what you get. All right, it's going to say error. We're not allowed to divide by 0. Vertical lines have no slope. They have no slope. Doesn't exist. It's undefined. Or we could say the slope is undefined. Slope is undefined. There is no slope. All right, I want to do one more quick example and then we'll be done. Okay, why don't you try doing this one on your own? pause your video, and then calculate the slope, and then come back and see if you have the same answer as I do. Okay, I hope you've calculated it now, and now let's check it out. I'm going to look for 2 points where I cross at an intersection. Here's another one. It's not always going to be on the axis, but sometimes they are, across this line and the axis. And now, from this point, let's do it this way. From this point, I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to go over. Starting at this point, I go up 3, and then from here over, I go left, -4. Remember, slope is rise over run, left is negative, so our slope is 3 over -4. We never leave the negative in the denominator, so our slope is -3/4, or you could put the negative sign in front. Don't do that unless you have very neat handwriting, though. Okay, I hope you understand what slope is now. Now you can take the short quiz that's online. Thank you, and have a great day.